Welcome to Real Estate Mortgage Shop, where we offer solutions to your real estate and financing scenarios. I'm Joe Garner, your host, mortgage professional. Catch this podcast and more at jogarner.com. Good morning, Memphis. Welcome to our internet listeners and podcast listeners across the 50 states. You're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm your host, Joe Garner, Mortgage Loan Officer. You can connect with me at jogarner.com. Subscribe at jogarner.com and get the Real Estate Mortgage Shop podcast with the show notes sent right to your inbox. Our general topic today is how to grab the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. If you have a short personal story you want to share about your real estate deal you found recently that gave you some bragging rights, call us while we're live today. Today is June 2nd, 2018, and you can call the live studio at 901-535-9732. Today we are shining a spotlight on the places where you can still grab the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. Pat Goldstein, a realtor with Crye-Leike, will be sharing some of her stories from the field. I will be showing you how you can get the financing and some bragging rights when you're all done. Mark McLaurine with Refrigeration Unlimited Heating and Air Conditioning has some great tips and stories to help you keep your house cool during our sweltering southern summer. Mark McLaurine is the owner of Refrigeration Unlimited. It's a heating and air company. Mark, you have been really busy lately, even with this summer heat that's come early over the Memphis area. You have done a great job for me personally, and you have done a wonderful job with people that I know when you come out and fix our heating and air. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for your clients, Mark.
Well, Joe, you know I'm a late bloomer in this business. I consider myself a mechanical paramedic. I'm out there every day trying to save everything I can put my hands on. But when their time comes and the people need good advice, I'm going to give it to them about changing their equipment, what the government is wanting us to do, so that the people will get the best results for the longest period of time.
What sets you apart from others?
Well, I understand what goes on with air conditioning and what's going to take it down, and I explain that to the customer and let them know that I'm there for them, but there's things I want them to watch out and do when I'm not around.
You know what? And you have done that for us. And listen, if you haven't checked out our Facebook Live, it's on my personal Facebook page, Joe Garner. That's J-O Garner. He's already given some good tips on there this morning. Also joining us in the studio is Pat Goldstein, realtor with Crye-Leike in the Memphis and North Mississippi area. Pat is known as the gold standard in real estate, and she is also a financial supporter of Talk Shop. She helps make networking and education free to our real estate and our business community in the Mid-South. Pat, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for your clients.
Well, I've been in the real estate business for almost 35 years. I guess I must have started when I was 12. And I have numerous designations that I have earned in order to learn how to serve my clients better. The more education I get, the better I can help my clients. Most recent was a negotiation course, and I've been negotiating, of course, for 35 years.
Very
but
well,
I just got some, thank you, some tips and tricks on how to do it better.
Well, you're an award-winning realtor, and right now in this market, it's always good to have an experienced, reputable realtor on your team. They will save you from making expensive mistakes, and they'll even help you get into some bragging rights of your own. Well, you know, everyone at this table today is wanting some cool deals in a red-hot market. Mark McLaurine, take a moment to share with us some tips on how we can keep the house where we're currently living cool when it is just sweltering outside.
You know, Joe, when I started out making service calls, I said, wow, the same things keep happening over and over and over. What can I do to create an idea that I could share with the customer what they need to watch out for? And I came up with 5 things that always take air conditioners down.
And what are they?
Airflow is number 1. The filters go bad. That's the first thing. The water backs up. Air-conditioned systems make water because they operate below dew point. We got to get rid of this water. We don't want it in the house. We want it going down the drains. So they need to have preventative maintenance every year to make sure these drains are flowing. There's also two other things. The environmental, it's the new one I added. It's because we have so much pollen in Memphis. Oh. It always finds the air conditioners. It gets in there and clogs them up with grass. The landscapers give me a lot of business, the leaf blowers, you know. Mm-hmm. We got to keep these air conditioners clean. Electrical is another problem. Loose connections cause things to overamp and short out and go bad. So I'm always checking those connectors. And last but not least, the people know is the Freon. And there's a lot of changes in the business now with Freon, and I can share that with our customers when they make an appointment.
Freon is like the new gold, I think.
No kidding.
It's hard to get and hard to keep, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for those tips. And, you know, Mark, before we went on the air, we were talking about things that people can do that will not harm their system when they wake up in the morning and it's hot outside and hot in the house. The fan works, but there's no cooling coming out of the vents. When that happens, what do we do?
When I get that call, what I generally ask the customer, well, what did you do? She says, I turned it down to 60 and it's still not cooling. I know. That's what happens. We all want to pull the thermostat down. That's right. The worst thing we can do. I've got a new idea, and it works.
What is that?
Go to the thermostat. Where it says automatic cool, I want them to turn it to fan off and leave it for 60 minutes.
Fan off, system off.
System off, fan on.
Fan on, system off.
For 60 minutes.
Now, I remember you did that for us. You said turn the fan on, but turn the system off.
There's two reasons for that. It's because probably more than likely the system was short on Freon or had dirty filters, and the air conditioning coil indoors is froze up. Mm-hmm. The fan motor's going to blow warm air across it and thaw it out. There's another situation, too, where the outdoor unit, the compressor has got internally electrical situations where it will not let that thing short out immediately. Mm-hmm. They do short out when they get old, but it will thermally open up when it gets too hot. So this will give time for the compressor to cool down.
And in the meantime, they can call you, and you would come out there, and by that time, hopefully it would be thawed out, and you can fix them right then.
Absolutely. We don't have to wait for an hour, and I don't have to turn the furnace on to thaw it out.
I tell you what, that is some really good wisdom right there. It's so simple, and sometimes the best wisdom is the most simple things that you can do. And we're going to circle back to you, Mark, but you know what? It's hot outside, especially in the South. This is the hottest day of the year, June 2nd, 2018, for us in Memphis. And when you walk outside of your air-conditioned home, for those of you who do not live in Memphis, when you walk outside of your air-conditioned home, it feels like you've opened the door to your hot oven and you stuck your head inside. I mean, it's hard to breathe. Sometimes it gets so hot. Well, the real estate market is hot, just like that, because of an unprecedented trifecta that we have going on in the real estate market. The first of the trifecta is we have a huge demand for homes. Rates are low, values are going up. Real estate is the thing to do. It's the investment to make right now. It's very time sensitive. So you have a lot of people who figured that out, and they're trying to buy homes. The second part is we have a lot of sellers who don't want to sell. So we only have about, in most areas of the country, we have about a third of what we need to meet that demand for houses on the market. There are not near enough houses on the market, and builders can't build them fast enough to meet the demand. The third one is that we have rates right now, mortgage rates that are relatively low, but they are steadily going up, and they are forecast to go even higher. So time is of the essence, and that's what we've got, a perfect storm right now. We've got Pat Goldstein in the studio. We've got about a minute, Pat, before we go on to break. I want you to share some of your very top tips for buyers.
Okay, well, the number one tip is before you start looking, get pre-approved. Go to Jo, have her do a pre-approval. That includes finding out how much you can buy. You don't want to be out there looking at homes that are more than you can afford to buy, at least as far as your pre-approval goes, because you fall in love with something that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. The other thing is multiple offers on almost every house. So you need to have that pre-approval letter to show the sellers that you're a viable candidate. And then have a good agent with good really good negotiation skills and experience. You've got to have the experience to get through the multiple offers so that the client, which is you, will get the house that you want.
You know, the winning offer for a home doesn't always go to the highest price offer, does it, Pat?
No, sometimes it's the terms that are a lot more important than the price.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the price isn't important, but good terms often trump a good price.
We're going to get into more of that when we come back from break. Mark is going to share some more wisdom with us about new government guidelines that are going to affect your cooling in your house and your pocketbook. He's got some great ideas on how to save on your utility bill. Pat and I are going to get into some more tips on how to grab good real estate deals and how to finance them later in the show today. I'm Joe Garner, your host on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer. Connect with me at jogarner.com. You can also find me hanging around Evolve Bank and Trust in the Memphis area, but I work all over the country. But you have to talk to me personally so I can work with you personally. Connect with me and or call me directly. 901-482-0354. Make your plan. Let's work your plan. If the deal works for you today, let's do it today. We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
600 WREC and 92.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Leslie with Signs Now in Memphis, Tennessee. You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Now back to your host, Joe Garner.
All right. We're looking at a heat wave today. It is the hottest day of the year, June 2nd, 2018 in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know what it's like in your part of the country, but it's getting a little hot over here. Today on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, we're talking about how to grab the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. I am Joe Garner, licensed mortgage officer, and I am your host. We've also got, sitting over in the co-host chair, Mark McLaurine with Refrigeration Unlimited. He is the master when it comes to your heating and air fix it and prevent problems from happening guy. Also, we have Pat Goldstein, who is the gold standard in real estate, and she's with Crye-Leike. We want you around the table with us, and you can do that by calling our show while we're live today at 901-535-9732. We're getting ready to play a game we like to play almost every week. It's called the Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest. Our Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest is brought to you by notable Memphis historian Jimmy Ogle. Jimmy offers free historic walking tours downtown in the spring and in the fall. For information about Jimmy, go to jimmyogle.com. The Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest is sponsored by John and Jennifer Lawhon of Lawhon Landscape, 901-754-7474. The Lawhons can help you plan your landscaping if you have a big project, or maybe just a little smaller project, or you may want to do that really huge project in phases. They can help you. Today, the Lawhons are giving away a $25 gift card to the first person with the correct trivia answer. And if you know the answer to our trivia question, call us right now at 901-535-WREC. That's 901-535-9732. And here is our trivia question. I am a community in the Memphis area that was named for a doctor in the 1800s. Who am I? Here's a hint. I was listed on the first Board of Health in Memphis in 1838, and I lived on Court Avenue. That must have been the doctor. And here's the hint, another hint. I bought land, this is the doctor, I bought land on the North Bluff of Memphis, Wolf River, in 1852 for a summer home. Back then, that was way out in the country. Here's another one. In 1877, the Chesapeake, Ohio and Southwestern Railroad built its railroad along the north side of my property and eventually placed a depot there using my namesake. That's the name of the doctor. Our final hint, a large plant for international harvester opened in my neighborhood in the middle 20th century. Now, that should be a giveaway for a lot of people. This is the Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest, and even if you're not in Memphis, you can still play. But our answer has to do with a community in the Memphis area. Who am I? Give us a call, 901-535-9732. And while we're waiting on an answer,
Pat, I know you're so good in real estate. I bet you sold that land back then.
oh my goodness, yeah, she got started young, didn't she?
Very young.
1877. All right. Well, we are talking about finding the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. And I would like to go to a former customer of mine, and I want to talk about some really cool deals are for people who are converting from renting over to buying. And sometimes it's a conundrum. They're trying to decide, should I stay renting or should I buy? But I want to go now to our customer, Kathy, and just talk with Kathy about why she made a decision to buy, why that was the coolest deal for her in real estate was to buy versus rent. We have Kathy on the line, and Kathy, thank you so much for agreeing to call Real Estate Mortgage Shop and share your home buying story with our listeners. I had the privilege of being on Kathy's home buying journey as her lender recently, and I was really impressed with her and her thought process and how she went about getting to her dream. Kathy, tell us a little bit about your experience and how you came to buy your own house.
I think it's something that everybody kind of assumes will be down the line at some point. I am single. I've been employed pretty consistently and have been in Memphis for quite some time without much intention to leave soon. So I started just looking at my finances and thinking about the long-term investment that buying a home would be, and it made sense to me to do it at this time.
Right. And you had mentioned to me, you said, hey, I'm tired of making my landlord's mortgage payment. I want to make my own, buy my own piece of America.
Right. When I started to look at my finances and think, my rent seems pretty fair to me. I love my apartment. I always have. I've been there for 5 years. But when I started to calculate the rent that I'd paid over 5 years' time, never mind the rent that I've paid in my lifetime at other properties, it was a little bit sickening to realize exactly how much I'd paid on somebody else's one particular mortgage. I started to realize that if I prioritized the home buying, journey a little bit more, that could have been, 3 years paid in on my own mortgage. And so I didn't want to waste any more time, and I made that decision actually very quickly. And from initial decision to closing was probably only about 60 days.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Kathy, if you don't mind, could you share with us what were some of the reasons that were causing you to delay that decision?
Well, I think you and I had kind of talked a little bit about statistics of my generation. I've been in my late 20s, early 30s during this past experience to decide to buy a home, and I've loved traveling ever since I got out of college. I've really prioritized my discretionary income for travel, and just different experiences, being able to go places with friends at the drop of a hat. And so I think it was a little bit scary to me to be what I always considered to be house poor, where, even if my income is the same and it's a smart investment, I just would have to be a little bit more cautious about spending frivolously.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that's what really set me back. But then when I started to stop and think about it, I realized that if you calculate your finances right and decide what home you can really afford and shop within your means, it doesn't mean that your quality of life or the things that you do in your free time have to change.
You're such a smart lady, and that's one reason I'm so glad that you agreed to be on Real Estate Mortgage Shop to share your story with other people. And what words of encouragement, Kathy, do you have for our listeners out there?
I would just really say make it a priority and sit down, even if you don't think you'll be ready to buy a house in the next year or two, still sit down and understand with your current income, your current situation, what that would look like for you today so that you can know how much of a down payment you need to have and really understand your options. For me, an important thing to realize was that there are other options rather than always putting exactly 20% down. There's options to leave a little more cash flow for you so that you don't have to drain your savings. Mm-hmm. So I would say no matter when you think that might be the right time for you, go ahead and start looking at what that could look like as soon as possible.
Right, exactly. And Kathy, and as you know, some of you out there, you can get in for 20% down, you can get in for nothing down. There are so many different programs out there that can help you get to the place where our caller here, Kathy, is today. And Kathy, I give you big kudos for thinking ahead and doing the right thing. And thank you so much for sharing your story with our listeners on Real Estate Mortgage Shop.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, Joe.
Well, that I love working with Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. And we've got some other callers. We are going to come back in after our break and talk a little bit more with Mark McLaurine and with Pat Goldstein. And I'm going to be covering some great places to find the coolest real estate deals and how to finance them. But before we've got about another minute, Pat, what are some things that you do with your clients that help them find the best deal for them, the house that's going to work the best for them?
Well, the first thing I do is ask a lot of questions. I want to find out what they want instead of finding them what I want for them. I need to know where they want to be, what size, what features they want in the house. That's probably the very first thing I do. And then look at their finances and what they can afford to buy, narrow it down, find out not just what they can afford to buy, but what they're comfortable paying. They're not always the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then we start looking. Once we start looking, we start negotiating because there aren't many things to look at right now.
Well, you have helped many people that I know. One particular person told you what she wanted in a house, and it just wasn't there where she wanted it. But you found one that was right next to where she wanted to be, but it was more than what she had asked for and more than what she could have dreamed. And we got it at a price that was really good bragging rights for her. So, get with a realtor who really listen and kind of know in your mind what are the top priorities you want in a house. What is your comfort level on a payment and move-in cost? You're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I am Joe Garner, your host, mortgage loan officer. You can connect with me at jogarner.com. Mark McLaurine with Refrigeration Unlimited. How can we contact you?
You can contact me 7 days a week at 901-216-7782 or at myhvacman.com.
All right. And Pat, what's your phone number?
901-606-2000.
All right. And our number here, 901-535-9732. We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
Hear the latest stories.
Understanding, listening.
Stay book smart, but leave reading.
They lived happily ever after.
For home.
Hi, Dad.
Good night, sweetie.
Listening is the new reading.
Just keep hearing.
600 WREC and 92.1 FM.
I'm Kevin Yee with Save Any Solution. You're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Now back to your host, Joe Garner.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Been down, isn't it a pity? Doesn't seem to be a shadow in the city. All around, people looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk hotter than a match here.
All right. Well, you know what? It is hot in the city in Memphis, Tennessee today, June 2nd, 2018, hottest day of the year. We're talking about how to grab the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. And we're going to take a trivia winner, and then we're going to take a caller, and then we're going to find out where are these hot deals and how to finance them. So let me see here. Let me get our trivia winner up here. Marie, are you with us? Congratulations. You've won our Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest. And what's the answer, Marie?
The Fraser community.
All righty, girl. Well, what clued you in as to the answer to that?
International Harvester.
I figured, yeah, everybody remembers that, don't they?
I thought everybody would know the answer.
Well, it has a rich history. The arrival of the railroad through the point over there brought immigration in. There were the Italians actually settled that area.
Yes, they did.
By 1900, Fraser Station had become a predominantly Italian community. I don't know if a whole lot of people know that. But
I didn't know that.
I don't think they do.
But then automobiles, of course, came in play. But Fraser is rich with a lot of history, a lot of memories for Memphis. Marie, thank you so much. Is anything else you know about Fraser you want to share?
I lived there for many years.
Did you? So you made a lot of memories too in that
Yeah.
area. Well, I've got a few myself. Well, Marie, thank you so much for listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop, and we congratulate you on winning the Look Back Memphis Trivia Contest. The Lawhons are going to be sending you a $25 gift card, so leave your address and your phone number with our producer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to Marie. We have Janaea on the line, and Janaea, how can we help you today?
Hey, I really just wanted to call because it seemed timely on your show that you were talking about how to find cool properties, and I just wanted to kind of share my story of finding the perfect home.
All right, let's hear it.
So I probably moved 20. I have moved 21 times.
Oh my goodness!
The last 20 years, and
wow.
I'd call myself a serial renter. Just honestly being afraid over the last 10 years of making a permanent investment like a home, given the mortgage crisis that took place. And, my family and I finally decided that, now is the time. Mm-hmm. And the resources that we sought out to help us get into our perfect home couldn't have been more helpful.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yes, hopefully I'm not biased. I'm calling out Pat because Pat was actually the resource that helped me find my perfect home. And if for anybody out there that is in my same position, scared to actually buy and make that long-term commitment, having someone in your court like Pat, in a matter of 10 days, we found our perfect home.
That's great. And you won your bid over probably multiple other offers going in.
Yes. It was very obvious that, and I didn't even realize that the housing market had jumped back up, but so every single house that we looked at had an offer already when we looked.
Wow. Well, it does take strategy to win in this. Janaea, thank you so much for calling. We so appreciate you listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop and working with Pat, and we just give a shout out to a lot of you guys out there who are out there trying to find your house and make your offer to win. Janaea, congratulations. Getting your offer accepted was a real triumph, and then getting closed. Very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for your help.
Thank you, Janaea.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you calling, and man, that was a great call with her. Let's go back and let's talk about where to find these cool deals like Janaea was talking about. She really got a cool deal. I happen to know her story. And where are they? Well, a lot of them right now are fixer-uppers. And fixer-uppers are still one of the best bargain opportunities available in this market. If you're purchasing a home as your primary residence, you have two very good renovation repair loan options that are available out there that will help you finance the purchase of the home, but also a lot of the repairs, almost all of the repairs. So that's a great deal. I want to tell a little story about Mr. and Mrs. Winfield. I've changed their name. They own their own business. They found a home that with a very huge shop in the back in a location where their location was. It was really going to save them a lot of time and money in their business, and their heart was just set on getting this home. But the problem was the house needed about $60,000 worth of repairs. The lender was going to require almost all of these repairs to be done before closing because these repair items affected the safety and the habitability of the house. Well, the seller wasn't going to allow them to do one bit of work on the house until after they owned it. So they were kind of in this catch-22 where they couldn't close on the house until the repairs were done, but they couldn't do the repairs until they owned the house. So it's like, what do we do now? Well, the solution for them was better than they originally thought. We provided a renovation and repair loan program that will allow them to borrow the sales price. Their sales price was around $200,000, and the cost of the repairs was about $60,000. And then, of course, the lender wants to add a little bit on to that repair in case you accidentally forgot something or you had a cost overrun. So there's a little bit of that. Their total to do that, buy the house, repair, was $269,000. We put them on a program where they only had to pay like 3.5% down of that amount. So hey, they were only going to have to pay $9,415. That was 3.5% of $269,000. Since the seller was not willing on this case to pay the closing costs for them, they ended up with closing costs and then setting up an escrow account to pay their property taxes and insurance. It cost them about $24,000, but it would only cost them $9,400 if the seller had been willing to pay cost. But now we had to decide, is it worth paying this extra money and going through this extra trouble to have a HUD consultant come out and hire a contractor and go through the draw situation? You close, you get your money, and then you start doing the repairs on these programs. Is it worth all that? Well, for the Winfields, it was, because their realtor did some comp work and we had an appraisal done. That house, when they got done, was going to be worth around $340,000. So they had $269 in it, plus the $24 for closing cost and prepaid taxes and insurance, down payment and all that. But they were walking into some serious equity. The difference between but they were walking into about $57,000 worth of equity. So was it worth it for them? Absolutely. Was it a cool deal in a hot market? Absolutely.
You bet.
Well, the financing on that, I have two different programs. One is conventional and one is the FHA 203K. So if you've got a situation you want to talk about and see if it's going to work for you, I'd love to talk with you. You can give me a call personally at 901-482-0354. But, let's talk for a minute about real estate investors. Now, these are people who buy houses for income-producing reasons. The two renovation repair loans we just discussed earlier were mainly for people buying a primary residence. So what do investors do when they want the coolest deal in the world in a hot market? Again, a lot of them right now, not all, but a lot are going back to houses that need fixing up, because it takes some special financing, obviously, and special strategy to get those and get them at the right price. Investors will go in on a fixer-upper like that. Now, most of the investors I work with, and I have several dedicated investors who, I do all of their financing for them. They'll pay cash for a house. They'll go in with a cash offer. Where do they get the cash? A lot of these guys have credit lines built up. They're secured on their 401k. They're secured on another property. They're a home equity line on their house. They just have numerous credit lines that they've developed out there where they can go in and pay cash for a house, fix it up. Then what do? A lot of the traditional mortgage products make you wait 6 months before they're going to let you do a cash-out refinance after you've purchased the home. Well, it just so happens that I have a very popular product that we call the quick cashback refinance. And as long as the credit line that they used is not secured on the house, the subject house that they just bought and fixed up, and as long as it's not a gift from anyone, as long as we can show they either got it out of their bank account or they have a line of credit secured on something else, I can go in and refinance them as soon as the last nail is hammered in. So sometimes we can close within less than 30 days after they buy that house and they've got it fixed up. We're already ready to close. We give them cash back, whatever the amount is that they paid for the house. Now, if you wait 6 months and your house appraises for a whole lot more than what you paid into it to buy it and fix it up, you may want to wait that 6 months out and get the full amount of cash out that you can get for that property. A lot of my investors like cash out refinances because what they do is they take the cash out over and above what they've spent on that house, and you know what? They go buy another house. And they keep leveraging it. And the more you buy properties that make money for you on the front end and every month, the more you do that over and over again, the more wealth and income you build. So it is a terrific way to do that. Where are some other places that you can find hot deals in a hot market is foreclosures and short sales. Believe it or not, they're still out there. You can find them. You probably want to connect with your realtor. They are connected to the MLS program, and they can look those up for you. Those are still good deals. You can buy them at a good price. But a fair warning to you, a lot of these foreclosures and short sales, they are handled by committees, and committees don't tend to work too fast, do they, Pat?
No kidding.
So don't be in a hurry if you're trying to buy a foreclosure or a short sale.
A short sale is anything but short.
Right. We have got a couple of callers, Christine, and we also have Kevin on the line. We are getting ready to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to take calls from Christine and Kevin. We appreciate you guys holding on the line. I hope you can hold for a little bit longer. We're going to do a real estate tip of the week with Mark McLaurine and cover a few more tips. You're on Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I am Joe Garner, your host, mortgage loan officer, and you can also connect with me at jogarner.com. We've got Mark McLaurine in the house, and your number, Mark?
901-216-7782.
And Pat?
901-606-2000.
We'll see you guys back in just a moment.
I'm Mary Lou Novak from Home Helpers in Memphis and the Mid-South area, and you're listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. And now back to your host, Joe Garner.
When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. Put all the money in and let it roll with you. When you're hot, you're hot. La 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 la. La 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 la
When you're hot, you're hot. And I tell you what, in Memphis, Tennessee today, June 2nd, 2018, we're hot. It's the hottest day of the year. We're talking about on Real Estate Mortgage Shop, and I'm your host, Joe Garner. I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer. I would love to be yours. I'd love to connect with you by phone, by email, smoke signal, jogarner.com, 901-482-0354. Also in the house, we have Mark McLaurine with Refrigeration Unlimited. He is a heating and air guru. He knows how to save you money and get the right machine in there at the right time. Pat Goldstein, our gold standard in real estate, a realtor with Crye-Leike. We want to talk with you. We're talking about how to grab the coolest real estate deals in a red-hot market. We have two callers on the line. We've got Christine. And Christine, how can we help you today?
Oh, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're doing fantastic.
Great. Well, I just wanted to call and say what a wonderful deal I got on my house, buying my home, and how much courage it took and how much I've enjoyed the process.
Well, we're glad you called. What made you decide to buy?
I had been renting for a few years, and I really did not think that I could manage buying or afford to buy the home that I was in. And Pat, thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
Helped me realize that I could. And I was able to do that, and now I have great equity. My credit has increased.
Yay.
I know.
Oh, Christine, that is fantastic. I congratulate you for getting your own house, making that step of faith, and it's one of the best investments you can ever make.
It was, and I was encouraged all the way. It was incredible.
Well, Christine, thank you so much for calling Real Estate Mortgage Shop, and we're going to take Kevin. Kevin, how can we help you today, Kevin?
Hey, top of the morning to you, Joe.
Oh, top of the morning.
Mark.
I know who this is.
Listen, you made a couple of comments earlier. Two words caught my ear. You were talking about a shout out and then strategy. You used that, and I happened to think about Mark. Think the world of all three of you. I've worked with all three of you, but just wanted to particularly mention that Mark comes to my issues, and I have a number of air conditioners. And he's always given me that strategic approach to things. He will tell me, look, you can make this change now and spend a little more, but you'll be good for the future, or you can just do this right now, get you by. And I always appreciate that kind of strategic forward thinking. Mark is not just an air conditioner technician. He is an air conditioner strategist.
Yay, that's a great word.
People need to know that, and he's done just a wonderful job for me, and just, people need to hear about that.
Kevin, thank you so much
Thanks,
for listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. Thank you for the shout-outs. We so appreciate you. Man, I love people like Kevin who are so willing to give compliments where they're deserved, Mark. So kudos for that. It's that time for the Real Estate Tip of the Week. Mark McLaurine, you have the Real Estate Tip of the Week.
Real estate tip of the week is definitely, Joe, preventative maintenance.
Yes.
65% of the air conditioners still out there today are R22, which is the mandated refrigerant that's going away in 2 years. So the best thing I can tell people is to have them serviced regularly. All R22 units now are at least 10 years old, so they're out of warranty. They need to have regular service.
And Freon is like the diminishing resource, right? So now
we only have two choices now. It's going to be the new 410A, which the government has mandated, or the R22, which is going away. I got in the business of learning what are we going to do next, because there will still be R22 equipment operating in 2 years. And I found the perfect substitute for everybody's equipment, and I'm calling the service a transfusion.
All right. Well, if you want to know more about the transfusion, that sounds very, very interesting. Call Mark McLaurine at
901-216-7782 or myhvacman.com.
myhvacman.com. All right, some Talk Shop announcements. Talk Shop offers free networking and education to anyone interested in real estate or in business. Talk Shop meets every Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. over at Pino's Palette, 8225 Dexter Road in Cordova. This Wednesday, June the 6th, 2018, Talk Shop presents Can Your Business Afford Not to Change? Top reasons why you should embrace change. And that's presented by Wanda Hall Myers with Myers Consulting. That's going to be a good one. Don't miss that one. Talk Shop events are free thanks to advertisers like Heather Donahue, owner of Clean and Pink Residential Cleaning Company, where cleaning is a science and not a chore. You can call Heather over at 901-834-3195. Subscribe to Real Estate Mortgage Shop by going to jogarner.com. We'll send you our weekly podcast with the show notes for your convenience. Real Estate Mortgage Shop reminds you to make your plan, work your plan. If the deal works for you today, let's do it today. Got a couple of quotes from the Quote Corner. If people are telling you, guys, this is for you. If the guys are coming up to you and telling you your wife is hot, you better get your air conditioning fixed.
Absolutely. Nothing worse than a hot woman.
Mark, straight from your mouth, yes. The lighter side, this is coming from the lighter side. Quote, a real estate agent has 2 property listings. Now, add 11 more. What does the agent have now? Happiness. The agent has happiness. You've been listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop. I am Joe Garner, your host, licensed mortgage loan officer. You can connect with me at jogarner.com. You can find me over at Evolve Bank and Trust. We've had Mark McLaurine with Refrigeration Unlimited in our studio. We've had Pat Goldstein with the Crye-Leike in our studio. We've had numerous other callers. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to talking with you again next week. See you then.
Honey, your love's better than money in the bank.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate Mortgage Shop, where we offer you solutions to your real estate and financing scenarios. I'm Joe Garner, your host, mortgage professional. Catch this podcast and more at jogarner.com.